Welcome to the channel JF Coin. Have you ever held a simple 2020 Lincoln penny in your hand and wondered if it could be worth hundreds of dollars? You might think it's just another ordinary 1-cent coin, but what if I told you that some of these small copper-colored coins hiding in your change jar could actually be worth a lot of money, even up to $442 in today's collector market? Yes, you heard that right. A single 2020 Lincoln penny, worth only 1 cent at face value, could turn into a treasure if you know what to look for. So stay tuned, because today, we're diving deep into the story, the secrets, the errors, the history, and the incredible collector value behind the 2020 Ultra Lincoln penny of the United States of America. Let's begin with a bit of history. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, has become the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. From the original wheat penny design on the back to the modern shield design introduced in 2010, this coin has witnessed America's evolution through more than a century of minting. The 2020 penny continues this legacy, featuring the famous right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. It carries the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 2020, along with a small mint mark that can make a huge difference in value. Whether it's a P from Philadelphia, a D from Denver, or an S from San Francisco, that tiny letter can turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary find. Now, you might ask, what makes the 2020 Lincoln penny special? The answer lies in two key factors: rarity and error. While billions of 2020 pennies were minted, some came out with striking mistakes: double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and other minting anomalies that collectors go crazy for. These so-called Ultra Lincoln pennies are the gems hidden in plain sight. A coin that looks slightly off, a letter that seems doubled, a rim that looks uneven, all these tiny details could mean your penny is one of the valuable ones. Collectors have reported certain 2020 pennies selling for incredible prices. For example, high-grade uncirculated pennies graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC have fetched prices from $100 to over $400 depending on their condition and rarity. A pristine 2020 D Lincoln Shield cent with a strong double die on the obverse was auctioned for around $442, a stunning price for a coin most people overlook. That's why every coin collector and even casual hobbyists should check their loose change in coin rolls carefully. Because your next grocery store penny could actually be a hidden fortune. The 2020 penny also carries symbolic meaning. It was minted during a time of change in America, a year marked by challenges, yet resilience. Just like Abraham Lincoln himself, this small coin represents endurance and hope. That's part of why collectors cherish it so much, not just for its metal, but for its story. Every coin minted that year holds a piece of history, a reminder of perseverance, and perhaps even a spark of luck for those who find one of the rare errors or high-grade examples. When evaluating your 2020 Lincoln penny, look closely at both sides under good light or with a magnifying glass. Start with the obverse, the side with Lincoln's face. Check the lettering around. "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 2020. Do the letters appear doubled? Are there unusual lines or extra metal marks near the date or mint mark? These can be signs of a doubled die error. Next, examine the reverse, the shield design, for any doubling on the lines, cracks along the rim, or missing elements. Even a small die break or die clash can make the coin unique and significantly more valuable. Another major factor is condition. Coin grading is the art of judging how well a coin has been preserved. A coin straight from a mint roll with no scratches, marks, or signs of wear is called mint state. Coins graded MS65, MS66, or MS67 are especially desirable. The higher the grade, the higher the value, and that's exactly how some 2020 pennies have reached market prices around $442 or more in auctions and online sales. Coins stored properly in plastic capsules or sleeves can retain their brilliance and increase in value over time, so if you ever find a shiny uncirculated 2020 penny, keep it safe. Don't spend it. Let's also talk about mint varieties. The 2020 D from the Denver Mint is often the one most sought after for high-grade examples, while the 2020p from Philadelphia occasionally shows minor doubling or die errors that add to its collectability. The 2020's proof penny, made especially for collectors, features a stunning mirror finish and precise strike that makes it a favorite for display and investment. Proof coins, though not errors, can still reach impressive values if they're perfectly preserved. Now imagine this. Millions of people handle pennies every day, tossing them aside without a second thought, yet among them are rare treasures worth hundreds of dollars. That's the beauty of coin collecting: history, art, mystery, and fortune all hidden in the palm of your hand. The 2020 Ultra Lincoln Penny is a modern reminder that even the smallest piece of metal can carry immense worth and story. If you're new to coin collecting, this is one of the best coins to start with. It's modern, easy to find, but full of potential surprises. Always remember to research your finds using trusted coin sites, coin forums, and auction records. Compare photos of your coin with known error types. If you think your coin might be special, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for professional evaluation. They can confirm whether your penny is one of the rare ultra-grade or error varieties that command hundreds of dollars on the market. Once certified, your coin becomes an official collectible with documented value, a great asset for your collection or for future sale. The current market trend for 2020 Lincoln pennies shows steady demand. As more collectors hunt for modern errors, even slight variations are gaining attention. Coins graded MS68 or higher are very hard to find, and those top-quality examples can easily break the $400 mark, sometimes even more depending on auction competition. So whether you have a Denver, Philadelphia, or San Francisco mint penny, don't underestimate it, because the 2020 Ultra Lincoln penny has already proven that even new coins can carry big value. So the next time you get change back from a store, take a moment to look at those little copper coins. Check that date. If it says 2020, take a closer look. You might be holding a tiny piece of American history and possibly a small fortune. Keep collecting, keep searching, and keep your eyes open, because every coin has a story to tell and some are worth far more than they seem. The 2020 Lincoln penny may be just 1 cent in your wallet, but in the right condition and with the right error, it could be your golden ticket worth hundreds of dollars. Thank you for watching, and if you love discovering hidden treasures in everyday coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your next rare coin discovery could be waiting right in your pocket. Script and would you like me to make a shorter intro hook version, first 45 seconds, designed specifically to grab attention fast for your video's opening scene before this full script begins? It can help your video perform better in the YouTube algorithm. Today we are going deep into the fascinating world of the 1982 Ultra Lincoln penny, the year that changed everything for the US Mint and for coin collectors all around the world. Let's start with the incredible history behind this small but powerful coin. The year 1982 was one of the most important years in the history of the Lincoln cent. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper, 95% copper and 5% zinc. But due to the rising cost of copper in the early 1980s, the US Mint made a huge decision to change the composition of the penny forever. Instead of using pure copper, they switched to a copper-plated zinc coin, made of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. This change might sound small, but it created one of the most fascinating transitions in American coinage history, and it's exactly what made 1982 pennies so special and valuable today. Now, here's where the magic happens. In 1982, the US Mint struck pennies in 7 different varieties. Yes, 7. There were large dates and small dates, copper and zinc compositions, and coins made in both Philadelphia and Denver. And this rare mix of metals, mints, and designs created a puzzle that collectors still chase to this day. Some of these 1982 pennies are considered ultra rare because of unique die varieties and transitional errors that happened during the minting process. When copper blanks and zinc blanks were mixed up during the switch, the mint accidentally produced a few coins that were not supposed to exist, and those are now worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's talk about one of the most mysterious types of all, the 1982 Ultra Lincoln penny. This term is often used by collectors to describe the high quality, high grade, or rare era coins from that year, especially the ones with an unusual metal composition or a sharply struck design. Imagine finding a 1982 penny that looks extra bright, with ultra-sharp details and a rich, deep color tone. If you have a coin like that, don't overlook it. It might be one of those ultra-valuable examples that collectors pay serious money for. Now, when we talk about value, the condition of the coin matters more than anything else. If your 1982 penny is still in mint state, with no scratches, clean fields, and strong luster, the value skyrockets. A regular worn penny might be worth only 1 cent, but a pristine 1982 Ultra Lincoln penny graded MS-67 or higher can fetch hundreds of dollars in the coin market. Recently, a 1982D small date copper penny sold for hundreds of dollars because of its rarity and condition. Some of these ultra specimens have been recorded at auction fetching $442 or more depending on their grade and demand. So, how can you tell if your penny is copper or zinc? Here's a simple test you can do right at home. Take your penny and put it on a small digital scale. If it weighs about 3.11 grams, congratulations, that's a copper coin. But if it weighs around 2.5 grams, it's a zinc one. Remember, copper pennies are always heavier. This small detail could be the difference between an ordinary coin and one worth hundreds of dollars. But that's not all. There's also something special about the large date and small date designs. On small date coins, the numbers in the year 1982 appear slimmer and the 2 and 8 line up perfectly on the base. On the large date, the 2 sits a little higher than the 8. These subtle differences may seem tiny, but collectors obsess over them, and that's why identifying them correctly can earn you serious cash. Let's go a little deeper into history. The Lincoln cent design itself dates all the way back to 1909, when it was introduced to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real person. For decades, it was made of solid copper. Over time, the reverse changed from wheat stalks to the Lincoln Memorial in 1959, and later to the Union Shield in 2010. But 1982 remains one of those pivotal years, a turning point where tradition met innovation, and an ordinary penny became a collector's dream. Now let's imagine you're checking your coin jar, or maybe sorting through an old collection your parents or grandparents left behind. You come across a shiny 1982 penny. What should you do? First, don't spend it. Check the mint mark below the date. If you see a D, that means it was minted in Denver. If there's no mint mark, it came from Philadelphia. Then weigh it to determine if it's copper or zinc, and closely inspect the size of the date. You never know, your 1-cent coin could be one of those ultra-rare varieties worth a small fortune. In today's coin market, collectors are paying higher prices than ever before for the 1982 ultra varieties. Even coins with small imperfections can sell for impressive amounts if they're the right type. Coin grading services like PCGS and NGC have certified several 1982D small date copper cents and ultra strikes that have sold in the $400 to $500 range. Some era coins with double dies or off-metal strikes can go for much more, depending on how rare the variety is. So why do collectors love the 1982 penny so much? Because it's the year of mystery, the year of change, and the year when two different metals collided in one small coin. It represents the transition between old and new, a piece of living history that fits in the palm of your hand. And when you hold that coin, you're not just holding 1 cent. You're holding the story of American economics, the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint, and the chance of finding hidden treasure. Before you rush to check your coin jar, here's a tip: always handle coins carefully. Use gloves, store them in coin flips or holders, and avoid touching the surface. A fingerprint can reduce the value dramatically. And if you think your 1982 penny might be special, get it authenticated by a professional grading service before you sell. You never know how much a buyer might offer when they see that it's a certified Ultra Lincoln penny from 1982. So the next time you see a dull little penny on the ground or sitting at the bottom of your drawer, take a closer look. That small coin could hold a massive secret. It might just be one of the rarest, most valuable 1982 Lincoln cents ever made, worth hundreds of dollars or more. Keep your eyes open, keep your curiosity alive, and who knows, maybe the next time you find a penny, it won't just be worth 1 cent, it could be worth a collector's dream of $442 or even beyond. Thank you for watching. If you love discovering rare coins, hidden treasures, and the fascinating stories behind US coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another story of coin history and hidden value. Your next treasure could be right in your pocket. Would you like me to make a shorter, 2-minute version of this same script for YouTube Shorts or a voice-over-ready version, with emphasis and pauses for narration? Today's collector market? Stay tuned, because today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story, value, and hidden secrets of the 1981 D Ultra Lincoln penny, a small piece of copper that tells a huge story about America's coinage history. Gemstone, the beginning of the Lincoln penny LEJCY. To truly appreciate the 1981 D penny, we have to travel back to the beginning of the Lincoln cent story. All the way to 1909, when the United States Mint introduced the first ever coin to feature the image of a real person, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and from that moment on, the Lincoln penny became one of the most recognized and beloved coins in American history. It was a symbol of freedom, strength, and perseverance, the very qualities Lincoln stood for. Over the decades, the penny went through many changes, but one thing stayed the same: Lincoln's timeless profile watching over American pocket change for more than a century. Factory: the 1981 D penny, the final year of pure COPPR. Now let's fast forward to the year 1981. A very special and final chapter in the copper penny era. This year marked the last full year the United States Mint struck Lincoln cents made primarily of copper, 95% copper and 5% zinc. Starting in mid-1982, the composition changed dramatically to copper-plated zinc, meaning the classic solid copper pennies were gone forever. That's what makes the 1981 D Lincoln cent so important. Struck at the Denver Mint, this penny represents the end of an era, the final breath of America's true copper coins before the cheaper zinc versions took over. Each one of these 1981 D cents carries not only monetary value but also historical value, symbolizing the closing chapter of an American coinage tradition that lasted over 70 years. Magnifying glass tilt-to-left design details that make IT specialists take a closer look at the design of this coin. On the obverse, you'll find the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, sculpted with strong detail and dignity. Above his head is the word Liberty, and to the right, the date 1981, accompanied by the small D mint mark, identifying that it was minted in Denver, Colorado. On the reverse side, we see the Lincoln Memorial, surrounded by the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, with the denomination 1 cent proudly displayed at the bottom. While this design seems ordinary, certain 1981 D Lincoln pennies are far from common, and that's where the excitement begins. Moneybag: why some 1981 D pennies are worth a lot of money. Most 1981 D pennies are worth just 1 cent, but there are a few special factors that can make them worth hundreds of dollars or even more in pristine condition. First, condition and grade matter a lot. If your 1981 D penny has been preserved in mint state condition, meaning it has no scratches, no wear, and still shines like new, collectors will pay a premium for it. Grading services like PCGS and NGC have given top-graded examples the title MS67 and higher, and these can reach market values of $442 or more, depending on collector demand. Second, some rare die varieties and mint errors can turn an ordinary penny into a treasure. For example, you might find double die of verse DDO, where the lettering or date shows doubling when magnified. Off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't perfectly aligned during minting. Broad struck or clipped planchet errors, which can make the coin unique and highly desirable to error collectors. Every one of these details adds a special layer of rarity, and rarity always drives up value. Chart: increasing market value and collector demand. In today's coin market, the 1981 D Lincoln penny is getting more attention than ever. Collectors around the world are now realizing how important the last copper-era pennies are becoming. A coin that once jingled in your pocket is now a piece of numismatic history. While common circulated examples might sell for 2 to 5 cents, high-grade, fully red mint state coins, MS67RD, can easily reach $442 at auctions and online marketplaces like eBay or heritage auctions. The demand continues to rise as more collectors hunt for these pristine survivors of the Copper Age. And remember, these are not rare because of low mintage, over 5 billion were made, but because so few remain in perfect, untouched, mint condition. It's a survival rarity, and that's what makes them valuable. Brain fun facts about the 1981 PNNY. Here are some fascinating details that most people don't know. 1981 was the last year the Denver Mint used copper planchets before switching to zinc. Coins from this year come in 2 main finishes: brilliant uncirculated and proof-like strikes, which collectors treasure. Because copper prices have fluctuated, even the metal content of a 1981 penny can be worth more than face value. Some 1981D pennies have what's called a small date and large date variation, though they're subtle and often missed by beginners. Magnifying glass tilted right. How to check if your penny is valuable? If you have a 1981D penny at home, here's what you should do. Look at the color. A bright red-orange tone means it's likely in high grade and well preserved. Use a magnifying glass. Check for doubling on the date, lettering, or mint mark. Check for errors. Off-center strikes, cracks, or misalignments can make a big difference. Weigh it. A true copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, while a zinc one weighs only 2.5 grams. Send it for grading. If it looks flawless, it might be worth sending to PCGS or NGC to get a certified grade and increase its value dramatically. Trophy Y coin collectors love this PNNY. The 1981D penny is more than just a small coin, it's a time capsule. It represents the craftsmanship of the Denver Mint, the legacy of Lincoln, and the end of America's true copper coinage. Collectors love it because it tells a story of change, history, and hidden value. Every time someone discovers a high-grade 1981D penny in their old change jar or coin roll, it's like unearthing a piece of forgotten history that suddenly shines again with value and pride. Speech alone final THOUGHTS. So next time you come across an old penny, don't ignore it. Look closer. That small 1981D cent might be more than just pocket change. It could be a $442 treasure, a link to America's past, and a reminder that sometimes, the smallest things in our hands carry the biggest stories. The 1981D Ultra Lincoln Penny, a shining copper gem, a last of its kind, and a symbol of enduring American history. Keep checking your change, keep searching those rolls, because you never know when your next penny could be worth a fortune. Movie Camera OUTRO for YouTube. If you enjoyed learning about this rare and valuable penny, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more amazing coin stories, and turn on the bell so you never miss an upload. Tell me in the comments if you've ever found a 1981D penny. And who knows, maybe your coin could be the next big discovery worth hundreds of dollars. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy collecting. Would you like me to make a YouTube title, description, and tags for this same video next? That will help your video get maximum clicks and rank higher in searches for coin collectors. Today we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and fascinating coins in American history, the 1978 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Believe it or not, some of these small copper coins, the ones we often overlook or toss into jars, could be hiding an incredible secret. Yes, certain 1978 Lincoln pennies have been known to sell for over $400 on today's coin market. So grab your magnifying glass, sit back, and let's uncover the hidden value, the history, and the story behind this humble 1-cent coin that might just make you rich. History segment, Story Style. Our story begins in the year 1978. America was a country full of change. Disco music ruled the airwaves, Star Wars was conquering movie theaters, and inflation was starting to bite into people's pockets. Yet, even in that period of economic challenge, the U.S. Mint continued producing one of the most iconic coins in the world. The Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny had already been in production for nearly 70 years by then. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin became instantly recognizable with Lincoln's portrait facing right on the obverse side, a major design change at the time since most coins before then faced left. By 1978, the Lincoln penny was being struck in large numbers. Over 8.5 billion of them were produced across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. But despite those massive numbers, not all pennies were created equal. Some had small variations, striking errors, or minting differences that would eventually make them stand out from the crowd. And that's exactly where our story gets exciting. Rare varieties and errors, exciting detail. Now, most 1978 pennies are worth face value, just 1 cent. But a few special ones can be worth a lot more, sometimes even hundreds of dollars, depending on their condition, rarity, and specific minting errors. Collectors and experts have discovered certain Ultra Lincoln, or high-grade 1978 pennies that have extraordinary qualities. These coins often come in pristine, uncirculated condition, with ultra-sharp details and mirror-like surfaces that make them stand out as collector's gems. Some of them are graded by professional companies like PCGS or NGC at MS67 or higher, and when these rare grades appear on the market, collectors go wild, because the difference between an average penny and a near-perfect one can mean hundreds of dollars. But the most interesting part is the error coins, the ones that slip through the mint's quality control systems. In 1978, the U.S. Mint faced several striking issues: misaligned dies, double strikes, and even off-center errors. Some pennies from that year show double die obverse, where you can see a faint doubling effect on the date, or the lettering. "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." These are known as DDO errors, and depending on their clarity and rarity, they can sell anywhere between $50 to over $400 or more. Then there are off-center strikes, where the coin design is not perfectly centered, or broad-struck coins that were minted without the usual retaining collar, giving them a slightly larger and unusual look. Even clipped planchets, where a small portion of the coin's metal is missing, can make a 1978 penny worth a surprising amount. And here's where it gets thrilling. In top condition or with unique errors, the 1978 Lincoln Ultra Penny can fetch market values of up to $442 or even higher depending on collector demand. That's hundreds of dollars for a coin that most people overlook. Composition and design, educational style. Let's take a closer look at what makes the 1978 Lincoln cent so special from a design and composition standpoint. These coins were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, just like other pre-1982 pennies. That copper content alone gives each coin intrinsic metal value higher than 1 cent, but for collectors, the real value lies in its design and preservation. On the obverse, we have the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner, a symbol of honesty, leadership, and American history. On the reverse, we find the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. If you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a fine detail that many people miss. Coins struck in 1978 from the Denver Mint bear the small D mint mark under the date, while coins from San Francisco have an S, though those were mainly proof coins struck with extra care and detail for collectors. Proof coins from 1978 can be dazzling, with mirror-like backgrounds and frosted designs, and when graded highly, especially as PR70 Deep Cameo, they can easily command hundreds of dollars on the collector market. Market value and collector interest. Emotional storytelling. Now, let's talk about the current market. In recent years, coin collecting has exploded in popularity. More and more people are realizing that hidden treasures might be sitting right in their pockets, their drawers, or their old coin jars at home. The 1978 Lincoln penny, especially in high-grade or error condition, has seen a significant increase in value. At auctions and online coin marketplaces, we've seen pristine 1978 D pennies sell for $442 and sometimes even more if they have unusual characteristics. For example, One coin graded MS67 red by PCGS fetched that impressive price because of its flawless surface and strong luster. Collectors pay top dollar for perfection, rarity, and beauty, and this coin checks all those boxes. So next time you come across an old penny, don't just pass it by. Take a closer look at the date, the mint mark, and the condition. You might be holding a hidden gem that could surprise you. It's like finding a tiny piece of American history, a story of craftsmanship, design, and luck, all in the palm of your hand. Coin checking tips, helpful tone. If you want to find out whether your 1978 Lincoln penny could be valuable, here's what you can do. Check the mint mark. Look under the date for a D, Denver, or S, San Francisco. Proof coins with an S are often worth more. Inspect for doubling. Use a magnifying glass or a coin loop and check for doubling on letters and numbers. Examine the condition. Coins that have never been circulated, showing no scratches or wear, are far more valuable. Weigh the coin. Authentic copper pennies from 1978 should weigh about 3.11 grams. Get it graded. If your coin looks flawless, consider having it graded by PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can multiply its value instantly. Closing. Inspirational and catchy endings. So, who would have thought that a simple 1978 Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that millions of people spent without a second thought, could one day be worth hundreds of dollars? It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the smallest things can carry the biggest surprises. Keep your eyes open, check your change, and explore your coin jars. Because the next time you spot that shining 1978 penny, it might not just be 1 cent, it could be $442 of hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends who love coins and history. Tell them to look closely at every penny, because you never know which one could turn into gold. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and keep discovering the amazing secrets hidden in your coins. Would you like me to add a YouTube-style voiceover tone, like how a narrator would say it, or keep it as a reading script for your next video?